Every day I slept, I made sure that I found a way through a cloud of haze. Every day I whipped, found how to live through all them cloudy days. You know the mind's a maze with all its mixtures. It's always hard to get the entire scope of the picture. 1080p, that's you other busters, yeah, obsolete. Can't fuck with me, excuse my French, but I'm not discreet. I wear my heart on my sleeve, but I've learned my lesson. I learned 1996, birth one of the greatest weapons untold. I'm destined to reach heights thought I could never see before. Thoughts rampage my heart and let me not reach the peaks that's entrusted to me. My belief shattered off past actions. I grieve, but grievance never really mattered. It's how I choose to act differently in the coming battles to overcome my limitations and get out my shadow. But it's hard to wade in this water, but it was never shallow. Fuck it, let me get the paddles. Fuck that now, let me get this castle. Fuck that now, let me get this battle.
What it do, everybody? It's your boy Sage, and I'm back at it again with the crew, Squad Nero, as always. Your home for all things anime. Obviously, I'm Rob, joined by Niall, aka Croco's Corner, Chef D, and T Smooth, and a very special guest that I'm gonna have T Smooth get an intro for as well. Whether you're a new or a seasoned fan, tune in weekly as we explore new releases, hidden gems, and hot topics in anime, animation, and gaming. Let the anime odyssey begin. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to stay up to date with all upcoming content that we may have coming out in the near future. All right, T Smooth, take it away, my brother.
You know I want to fight you, right?
What?
I was supposed to do the whole intro and everything. We had the
Oh,
whole
you wanted to do the whole?
I was about to. I had a whole spiel. I was ready to go.
Hey,
but
you can
know
still
what?
do it. We
No.
can rewind it. Rewind.
No. You got it. I ain't rewinding nothing. We gonna keep moving forward because people got lives. They got adulting. They got plans. They got schedule. We're gonna keep this rocking and rolling. Well, I am T Smooth. You already know 1/4 of Squad Nero, where I believe Damian Wayne was always correct. Batman should have killed the Joker because it would have saved millions. But we have here today one of my homies, aka the Luka Doncic of 2K, super floater. Every 5 seconds, this man throwing a floater. It be looking pretty every time. This man has his own comic book company, Echelon, has his soon-to-be second issue coming out for one of his comics, Reaper. Pick up that first issue, print, digital. Support this man so we can get more of this content because it is fire. The big homie Captain Diesel. Thank you for coming through, my brother. Where is he? Oh, wrong one. My bad.
Damn.
It was supposed to be.
You gotta do him like that.
Appreciate y'all, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no worries. How's everybody doing though? Outside of that, everybody week going cool, copacetic, smooth.
I feel like I need to go hit a daggone boxing gym for how work been beating me up, and I can't really fight back.
I feel like that's consistent with a lot of us.
I think I'm in a similar boat to T there. I played soccer with a 11-year-old and had a heart attack. I didn't actually have a heart attack, but it felt like I had a heart attack. So I'm like, now I'm starting to kind of have a reevaluation on my exercise and health because I'm like, no, this ain't gonna work.
Yeah,
but outside of that, I've been great. It was a good week. We got some sunlight in New York State, which was awesome. I love that.
Yeah, weather's been looking pretty good so far. You know, it's been a little chilly here and there, but it also feels like Georgia's very bipolar with the weather. It's gonna be ice cold in the morning and then blazing heat in the afternoon.
Yeah, I'll take that any day of the week, to be honest with
Hell
you.
Yeah, seeing that Sage is originally from there.
All right. So
you don't claim your home no more? You don't claim your home?
I still do. Niggas get upset. I claim Atlanta. Oh, nigga, you just a nigga from Buffalo. Man, I can't be both. Damn.
No. My whole biggest issue with you was all these years. I'm an Atlanta Falcons fan. Screw Buffalo. Now you want Buffalo.
Yeah, I did not remember that, but That is hilarious if that is the
I
truth.
was only respecting the Atlanta Falcons. I still like the Buffalo Bills.
But
I
at
only
least Mike Vick
supported them
era.
because they had the clear opportunity to beat the New England Patriots, who was already spanking Buffalo. It was kind of like a win-win situation, you know.
You've been claiming them since you were 5, 6, 7 years
That's
old.
crazy,
That might clock you, ain't he?
right? Oh,
I'm
dude.
just saying. Hey, I've been there since he was born.
Yeah.
That's my
All
little
right.
brother right there.
We got episode 101. Our first episode, second episode technically in the triple digits. Again, I want to thank everybody that stayed through with the journey. Thank you to my pod mates as well for all of the journeys that we've been through and how we tried to cultivate this. And we thank our wonderful guest for being able to give us the opportunity to get his perspective on a lot of topics that we got today. So let's get right into it. We got
Before we get started,
Oh,
I'm
my
sorry. Diesel, could you pretty much tell the world why they should get Reaper? Like, what is it about and everything?
Oh yeah, Reaper. Reaper is a horror action comic that is going to give you guys a lot of similar themes to shows like Supernatural as well as anime like Bleach. Kind of a thematic combination of those two. It's a story that kind of revolves around generational curses in regards to Reapers. These things that are, for if you guys are familiar with a lot of Judeo-Christianity stuff or even just a lot of like gothic horror stuff, they're Nephilim for essentially. Nephilim are part angel, part human being. So in the Bible, what people consider Goliath to be, they believe him to be a Nephilim in that aspect. But in this world, Nephilim are essentially people that are part angels that are meant to shepherd souls and spirits to the other side. And for the souls that want to stick around, we make them go against their will, essentially. We get them up out of here if they're evil and whatnot. So the story is kind of just revolving around this family of Reapers and a lot of their issues that they have in regards to the youngest son, the prodigy, not really wanting to take in part of this generational, this familiar bond that he has with his family. He wants to do his own thing. He doesn't want to be a Reaper for his entire life. So he's kind of avoiding that responsibility, and avoiding that responsibility may or may not have some pretty gruesome results or things that come from that. And we kind of pick up from there.
Dope. So once again, pick Reaper up. Support
Yep.
Where can we get it? Can you slide
We
the
got the link. I will resend it to you. I actually just bought mine right as the podcast was starting, and based off that description, I am very, very excited to read this. But Rob, I will make sure to send you that link. I just had it, and then I had to do Instagram post and lost it. But I will get that to you.
Well, cool thing about it is when you buy the physical, it's like 3 or 4 different covers.
Yeah, so I got there's 4 covers in total. I got an A cover done. I got A cover and the B cover done by some artists that I found on IG that thought were just dope in general. And the other 2 were some more further out there reaches. I hit up the current artist for the Absolute Green Lantern series, Janoy Lindsay, and he did a cover for me for this book as well. And my boy Donkey Kim, who he recently did a variant cover for the Battle Beast comic, and he's did some other book I'm blanking on recently. And he did a cover for me as well. And going into the second issue, I have the covers done by most of the same people, but I have one in particular done by Gianrico Bonacorsi, who is one of the cover artists for the Gunslinger Spawn series right now on top of Farland on like underneath Image.
Okay.
So we cover artists where I like to splurge at. I think most comic book fans, like, the cover art is the thing that you put it on the wall, you do whatever with it. So I like to tend to put a little bit more time and attention into the cover art to make sure that it's on point.
Yeah, I ended up getting that Donkey one, and I could tell T did too. I think that was the one we gravitate to. Now hearing that this is the same artist who did the Battle Beast cover, I kind of can see where it was kind of gravitating with me more. I didn't know it was a random shot for me, but I was like, okay, this is the one. And they all are really good. To your point, they are amazing covers. I really sat there for a little bit and was like, which one do I really, really want? They all really look good. So yes, it's beautiful, beautiful art on it, and an amazing, from what I'm hearing from you, and I can't wait to read myself, an amazing story.
Appreciate that, brother. Appreciate that.
Yeah. All right, Sage, I think we can segue over now to.
Yes, sir.
All right. We got some of these honorable mentions real quick. Just some quick little slide topics that came up throughout the week or the past little bit of time since y'all seen us. One is the Paramount president has stepped down. which is an interesting development, knowing that they are about to get into that potential Skydance merger. Not Skydance, is it? Is it?
Uh,
Yeah, right.
Yeah, with
No, no,
Warner,
no, no. Warner Brothers. I'm
WB.
Paramount.
sorry, Warner Brothers and
Mm-hmm.
Paramount. That deal, but supposedly it had nothing to do with the merger. Supposedly he was being inappropriate with somebody
Oh,
working at the job. Supposedly, from what I
Whoa.
could tell. So, yep. Any thoughts on that? Probably not too much.
I mean,
uh,
both of them
Honestly,
are probably likely
it's hard to tell. Like when it comes to situations like that, that's just like maybe a cop out way to get somebody out of there.
for sure.
Like maybe he didn't. Let's just say maybe he did not want to do this deal, but higher ups ahead of him, like over him, said, "Nah, we gonna do this, and if you ain't with it, we got something for you." And probably planted a honeypot on him.
Playing the honeypot
slander
is
him
crazy.
like that. That's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah,
slander him like that. That's like, yo, I don't want you
yeah.
to
I
have.
think
Not. I want you to have legal problems. I don't even
Par-
just want you to not have a career.
Paramount is technically the bad guy in this story too. So, I
With
mean,
that company, I mean, does it say? This is the thing that I always think it is that I know that the Ellisons were very forgiving to certain demographics,
Mm-hmm.
and for them this kind of seems like something that they wouldn't necessarily fire, especially somebody in what I imagine is like a chief position or in that level. um so I maybe that's a good sign. Maybe it's like, hey, with this merger we're actually trying to clean out. I doubt it, but it will be being optimistic. Are they trying to kind of clean house of people who maybe won't work when this merger is complete? Is there any
I'm
maybe
sorry. What
anything
the
there?
hell? I
I
don't.
don't know though. I don't know if I think that that's actually what the Ellisons would.
All right, this might change it just a little bit. I don't know where I got that information before. Supposedly, it's because following a legal dispute with a controversial Vegas gambler. So
Mm.
I don't know what that
He just might
entails.
be bad for business then, which
I
is
guess.
that's what that sounds
Yeah.
like.
They can't have any holes in the ship with this deal because they already don't really have the money out front. Because
Yeah.
this is the same people that are also trying to do the whole thing with the leverage buyout for EA. They don't really have this money, so they need to make sure they get this money back immediately because they're already going to be in debt when they get this purchase to go through. So they can't afford no holes in the ship. So if Buddy's having gambling problems or having
Yeah,
issues keeping his hands to himself, it's best to get him out of there now.
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of riding on the success of this merger because the debt is significant.
Yeah, look at all that money they put up. Like, Lord have mercy. Nah, we if he's bad for business, like we already about to dump this money in for WB. We can't be having that. Mm-mm.
Hmm.
Diesel, we went kind of at lengths about how we were just looking at this deal, even going back to when it was, the idea of Netflix purchasing Warner. What are your thoughts just on like this merger now with Paramount and WB, especially being a comic fan and DC being a part of that?
I had a better hopes for when Netflix was looking to buy it, possibly, just because I do feel like Netflix is. It does seem like they're still in the business of trying to make good products, and in bare minimum, look, they were trying to invest in a lot more of the movie industry as well. I do remember there was like narratives around them trying to open up their own theaters series or like series of theaters around the country, like a Netflix theater, and they were also getting movies in theaters, like with not Demon Slayer, K-pop Demon Hunters
K-pop,
was the
yeah.
movie. So I felt a little bit more comfortable with them. With this Paramount merger, it's very apparent that Paramount is moving into being in the pocket of Agent Orange, who's in office now, and they're working
Mm-hmm.
to try to buy up a lot of the major media cycles so they can control the narratives for a lot of different things. And especially knowing that they have like the Saudis in their back pocket with the EA deal and everybody that's involved, it seems as though this is going to be another avenue for them to try to control narratives, make sure that people that are thinking a certain way don't get jobs in some of the bigger forms of media that's out there. Especially seeing how they operate business wise, at least how Trump operates business wise, him having control of like a lot of the more generational IPs from like Harry Potter to any film that came out ever. It feels like it's kind of a little scary. The only thing as far as a fan of the stuff that I feel I'm a little bit not as worried is just because I feel as though they need the money. So they're not going to mess. I don't think if they're smart, they won't mess with James Gunn and what he's cooking with DC with the DCU right now because at least going off of the Superman numbers and how popular that was, and also how excited people are for Supergirl and the other projects that are coming out. Because Buddy hasn't really missed shit in regards to live action or animated property. That's probably gonna be your only moneymaker at this point in time, because they're trying to bring Harry Potter back out of the grave, but I don't think that's gonna catch on as well as they think it will. So y'all only thing y'all have going right now making y'all significant amounts of money is DC, and that's only the movies, because we already know the comics. I'm more so worried about the comic books than anything else, because the comics aren't really making a lot of the bread. So they're likely to cut that shit off at the knees, but also understanding they probably need that to help promote the movies. So I don't know. Comics are probably at the biggest risk here more than anything else. I think the DCU is fine in itself right now, at least.
Yeah, that's the exact same sentiment.
Stepped all over the absolute universe. That would be disgusting.
I mean, that's their big money maker right now, because DC is stagnated in every other place right now outside of that.
Yeah.
All I gotta say is scrap that Batman Brave and Bold movie. Just give us absolute Batman. That's like crazy. That's totally like crazy.
See, this is the point that I was trying to say. So, Diesel, I'll let you know, we are a mixed bag here. I don't even know if a mixed bag is fair to say. I'm a little bit more lenient on James Gunn, and the other cast members here are like, this isn't really my bag. There are some areas where I do definitely agree with them, especially when we see like the Supergirl trailer and how much of it does kind of have like a Guardian kind of feel to it. But I'm more with everything that you just said, with this idea of, okay, well, they have to look at what's being successful for them, what's driving box office numbers, what's creating a profit for them. And right now I feel as though there's enough that James Gunn is doing that I don't see them kind of backing away from him for the foreseeable future, unless we were to start to get opposite trajectory in terms of profit.
I see where some people have issues with it, because I've heard a lot of the narratives around the DCU up until this point. Gunn and he's made it very apparent he's looking to bring this more so in line with like the silver or golden age of comic books, where things were a lot more whimsical, things were a lot more sparkly, vibrant, and happy. Because we're kind of coming out of the Nolan era where everything was edgy and hardcore. Even with Steiner took it even that much further in that direction. And I think especially for money making, when you're looking at making these things more accessible to like kids, especially when you look like that Superman movie, it being a lot more hopeful and things of that nature. That's how you sell toys to kids and things like that. And there's enough material there where I think adults can also attach onto it. It's at least for me, I've been somebody who's been tapped in with this stuff for a while, so I've seen all the what if and kills this universe, whatever. I've seen all the dark stuff. I'm cool with kind of getting back into a little bit more hopeful stuff and goofier stuff, especially when you're looking at characters like Batman. I'm kind of cool with seeing super grounded Batman. I think we want to see super grounded Batman. That's what we have the Elseworld stuff for with Pattinson's Batman. But the next Batman I see, I need to see him doing like crazy Brave and the Bold shit where he's fighting guys. It's just him. I don't need to see any more super grounded stuff to where he's like not able to shrug off a knife wound or something. I don't know. That's just me though. I think it's just been a while since we've seen happiness put back in comics for a little bit. I think everything right now between The Boys, Invincible, a lot of the Snyder stuff, everything's so dark and so grounded and gritty right now. I just want to see something different out there in the mix.
Yeah, no, I definitely think that's a reasonable argument. It's one I think the reason why we get a little bit more hesitant is because we see like through the success of like the Dark Knight trilogy, specifically obviously the Dark Knight with the Joker in it. And then on top of that, just even Pattinson's The Batman, the darker tone has kind of led to what feels like is better stories and better narratives. Whereas when we get like, if we go into like Thor, a comparison that we make, which may not be necessarily fair, but Thor Love and Thunder, right? Like where we go in, it's a little bit more goofier and a little bit more silly. It seems like it brews a little bit of a recipe for what could be a little bit of disaster. The story kind of goes all over the place in the ways that not only comic book fans can't necessarily always enjoy, but as well as that even common just general audience members can enjoy. So I think that's what kind of brings us so much more closer to like the grounded and the darker in tone and nature, because of just the success that we've seen from it. But I do think that you make a really strong argument of, it's like, you know, you really look at the history of comics. If we're talking in totality and the fullness of it, There are instances where there's entire eras of a more goofier feel, a more lighthearted feel, something that kind of plays more into the background of the demographic that was originally targeted for comic books in the first place, but also being able to do that in a way where it can connect modern audiences, especially with the technology and such involved. You make a great argument. Like you really, really do there. I didn't really think about it like that. But I know that that's where a lot of our nerds, specifically not so much with Marvel, because I think Marvel, even though they have its ups and downs, there's a lot more successes that we're able to see and brighter things, especially when I think about like their collaboration with Spider-Man. As probably I would probably say that's the largest example. But not as much with Marvel, but with DC, it's kind of like it's this precious thing that's in this very toxic kind of environment, has been and what's felt like a toxic environment, and now is probably going to be going to another toxic debt fueled environment. Yeah, that's where.
So let me ask the panel: did y'all enjoy two things? One, Guardians. I like any of the three. The My Adventures of Superman, the anime that DC put out, and I'll say the Batman Brave and the Bold cartoon. If you enjoy any like those three.
I
I
did.
enjoy Guardians a lot.
First and the third. The
Fair
second
enough.
one I did not tap into. I have not watched that yet. The anime, Superman anime. What?
Yeah,
it's
I
called My
love
Adventures
it.
with Superman.
Yeah,
I like the
I should
first
look at
Guardians.
it.
I didn't like the last ones, but I thought Superman anime was pretty cool. And Batman Brave and the Bold, the cartoon, I did enjoy that though.
Okay, yeah. And so those are just in my mind like those three things of like happy, brighter tone. I think because I think there's a balance, right? You don't want to have it just to be because I think Batman Brave and the Bold probably went super far into like the kiddie whimsical thing just because it was on Cartoon Network. But I do think like My Adventures of Superman is that good in between to where you can have it be brighter but still have a little bit more darker tones in there. I think you can find that good balance. I think everything has been. I think Nolan really made that the thing where everything had to be grounded, everything had to be dark and gritty and like absolute Batman-esque. And I'm like, I get it, but we're starting to get to the point where everything's the edgelord version of everything.
Yeah.
Which is kind of why I felt like Absolute Superman had a timer on it because you could only do a dark Superman for so long before you try to stay at some point back to who he is in this core, and who he is in this core is like a symbol of hope for people, which I think is where they're kind of getting into now with a lot of his stuff.
I'm curious to see more. I like that is something where I wasn't. I enjoy Superman. I thought that it was a start. Though it was a little different. Having where it was kind of explaining the world in the beginning, like 10 years ago this happened or 100 years ago, how they had that little sequence in the beginning. It was a little different for me, but I still enjoyed the film. Like I was like, it wasn't enough. There wasn't enough things that I could say that was bad about it versus good about it in terms of, and a lot of the good qualities for the movie for me was just the differences to the point that you're saying. The idea that this isn't something like I think when we go back to the Supermans that came out in the early 2000s and even Man of Steel,
Oh, God,
Zack
yeah.
Snyder's Man of Steel. When I think about that though, it didn't feel like those films. It felt like something that stood on its own. And I was like, all right, like I'm cool with that. I would like to see, to your point too, where the balance, like the idea of the balance, I think that it could be pushed a little bit more with Superman. But I think that's why we just got to get a guy time. Like I'm cool. I like enough of the stuff that he's made that I'm okay with giving him time to see, how does he respond to the idea of this balance? Because you do want to try to cover as many groups of people's interests as you possibly can, even though you can't make everyone happy. Still, I want to see if there's that fluctuation and diversity that takes place.
And I think we're gonna get that. I think the fact that he's also made it a point to say like I'm not writing and directing everything. Like the fact we're getting a Clayface rated R horror movie produced by Mike Flanagan, the guy that's done
Right.
Oculus, that's done Haunting a Hill House. Oh my god, what was the one Raven, the Edgar Allan Poe series that was on Netflix? I'm blanking on the name of right now. He's like Mr. Horror right now. He's in a lot of great horror stuff. So the fact he's giving that type of movie and it's going to be also be included in this DCU, I think goes to see that balance. Whereas his stuff is going to be his stuff. It's going to be his style. It's going to be the Guardians. It's going to be the I almost called it the Suicide Squad. It's going to be Creature Commandos. That's going to be the James Gunn style of thing. That's what you're going to get from him. But the fact we're allowing other directors who have different tones and different styles, I think that's where that balance come in. And it's the fact that he's allowing so many different characters to get their shine on top of that. Like if we would have let the Snyder stuff go along, we would have never gotten a Mr. Terrific. That character would have never been. I promise you, Snyder would not have given us a Mr. Terrific. Yeah. So we're seeing that diversity in these characters as well as what I really enjoy from James Gunn. We get to see, especially with Black folks, like we get to see us do something that's not just super set to the side off into the shadows. We actually have major parts to play in all these things going on.
Yeah. I'm long-winded, so I know that's where I gotta stop.
Yeah, my bad, John.
I can tell.
No,
You're
y'all was
fine.
passionate.
You're fine, but this is one of these things where I have not had that much friends in this space in regards to giving James Gunn a little bit more leeway, so I kind of got absorbed in it right there.
I'm like, how many misses does he have? You could argue Guardians 2 is a miss. If people say that, I give you that because I didn't love Guardians 2 either. Outside of Guardians 2, there's not too many things he's missed on for real, especially superhero content wise. Because the Guardians really took Marvel out of there. Outside of the Avengers, the only big movie I could think of that was really successful that people gravitated towards was Guardians. That took the MCU out of there. Creature Commandos was great in my opinion. I love Creature Commandos. The Superman movie had a positive reception. There's not too many misses he has in superhero stuff. So
It
like,
just
until he
might
gives
not
me a
be,
bomb, I'm just like, just let him happen.
That's the
I
difference.
have my qualms with Superman, but
But
that's
here,
another conversation for
and
another
I
day.
brought this up on the pod before. But this you got to kind of understand the separation between what is it that just doesn't interest you versus what is a failure, and has he had any? That's the thing, is like, has he had any failures? And it's like when you really look at it, it's not failures. It just might not be things that per se interest you. Like some of the Guardian stuff, it wasn't really my bag. But I can't necessarily say, especially like with 1 and 3, that those weren't successes at the very least.
Because he did a thing that you hadn't seen since the Avengers, where he took D-list characters and made them A-list, well-known characters to the casual audience. Because niggas weren't checking for. There's a reason the Avengers exist to begin with, because they weren't selling. People didn't care about the characters. And then the Guardians, I know for a fact, if anybody told me they were Guardians of the Galaxy fans, at least this specific iteration before that movie came out, I will call you a damn lie to your face.
Yeah.
You have to show me them comics, brother, because I know you weren't. There was nothing else for you to point to.
No, that was a very specific crowd, and I love comics. I've been reading comics my whole life. I didn't know left from right with Guardians of the Galaxy before the movies, personally.
Well, luckily we're about to see another James Gunn. James Gunn directed Supergirl too, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes, he wrote and directed Supergirl. So the next two things we're gonna see from him is.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he did Slither too.
Man of Tomorrow 2 dropping supposedly next year as well, if I'm not mistaken. So we shall see.
He wrote the Belko Experiment? Oh, no.
Yep. I'm telling, hey, bro, I told you, bro, he don't be missing that often, bro.
Scooby-Doo 2, he missed on that one.
Yeah, that first Scooby-Doo was fire, though. Wait,
The first one was great.
yeah.
The second one,
I give you that. I give you the second one. But again, that's 2 out of how many? If you want to count, I'm throwing Guardians 2 in there just because I didn't love it per se, but I know some people loved it. Even then, that's 2 out of what, like 12 to 20 projects, something like that.
Romeo and Juliet.
I think kind of my disconnect sometimes, and I still gave like Superman like a 8 out of 10 in my estimation. No. I think it's just his comedy style.
Yeah.
It kind of gets repetitive over time, and like just to compare him with Ryan Coogler as of right now, it seems like Ryan Coogler is always exploring new avenues, exploring new ways to interpret his films, or the film style, or the film that he uses the film on, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get you.
It just seems like outside of because of the stories, James Gunn is gonna do obviously he's shown he's capable of making great stories, in
Bro,
a
he
movie
worked on
setting.
13 Ghosts. That's
And-
one of my
and
favorite horror
shows,
movies
too.
of all time.
Stick of Terrence, bro.
Yeah.
13 Ghosts.
He going through it now.
That
like
is
you
my
know what?
movie right now. Say.
Whole life changed.
I would like his comedy style just to evolve. That's my only gripe.
I feel you. I think there's and those are fair critiques. I think of like the evolution. I think it's kind of that conversation between, and I always kind of go back to basketball at some point. It's like a player who you're asking to evolve and add things to their game versus the player that you're going to get. You know what you're going to get. You're going to get consistent, good production out of that player. And I think that's the difference between like a Kugler being generational and a Gunn being really, really good for his generation. Like I'm not. It's like I'm not gonna get mad because you're not living up to the heights of this generational filmmaker. Because on top of that too, you're usually in lanes where you're more so just adapting things that you have fun with, and you don't want really to push the needle too often. And even in the lane of putting Kugler in the realm of like heroes with Black Panther stuff, even then, like outside of Black Panther 1, because that movie has its issues. I mean, outside of like it was instrumental in the world of bringing Black people and Black led cast and Black Panther into the zeitgeist for the casual audience. But there's problems with that movie from a film perspective, especially with a lot of the CGI stuff. And then you feel how you feel about the second one because there are some people that are adamantly against Shuri for whatever reason, and her being there's a lot of stuff there commentating wise. But to your point, he tends to always try to push the needle, and if he's not doing it, he puts people in position to push that needle. And I just think that's why he hasn't done so many superhero projects, because you're just not allowed to push the needle that much because you're in a medium to where the hardcore fan audience, which if we're keeping it a buck is majority white men, they're not going to want you to push that needle, especially you as a Black man push that needle, because that means you're probably going to be more progressive leaning and going to have more diversity within it and also commentate over things that are going to make the white audience uncomfortable.
Right.
So it's just, I think that's where Gunn is thriving, where he can make everybody happy to an extent versus Coogler is going to make a lot of people happy, but that hardcore audience and that nerd shit, they're not gonna fuck with it. They're not.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very valid points. All right. So, just like we stated earlier, we're gonna have 2 new projects coming soon from James Gunn to see more what he has in store for us with that DC. Punisher One Last Kill trailer review. They just dropped a quick trailer for that joint. Nah, I don't know.
Yep.
Oh yeah, you got that joint. All right, bet.
He did Dawn for Dead.
While that's loading up, I got another honorable mention. Omni-Man has finally become a present father in his children's life. So I guess we gotta clap it up for that, even though it took that nigga a mighty long time. He finally came back, so clap it up for that.
Jesus.
Had a second wind of being a father. That's crazy.
I mean, technically, he was there the first time around. Mark had a happy
He
childhood.
was. Mark had a great time, but Oliver, it's like, oof.
A lot of those years is kind of
talking about. He almost killed Mark.
yeah. That's what I'm
Yeah.
about to
So
say.
he's saying now he's the present father.
That's what Mark
Now
was
he
18
is.
though. Mark had 17
He's
years.
saying
of
like
the coolest
before
dad
that,
ever.
yeah.
I guess, but
That baseball games and shit, that all the cookouts.
That
was
was true. Yeah.
The man said your mother was a pet to me.
Yo. Yeah. That's, yeah.
Hey, Frank. How you doing, brother?
Sage, mute yourself.
Talk to me. Tell me what's going on. What's going on?
Think God's gonna forgive us for the things we've done? I'm not sure about me. But you ain't got a fucking chance. That's all you got? That's all you got? That's all you got? All you got?
I ain't gonna lie, that's my first time actually paying attention to it playing. That nigga's going crazy.
The fact that this is written by John Bernthal, and I because many people have this issue when I say that how Ryan Reynolds, some people don't feel like he did a good job writing Deadpool. Somebody felt that other people should have written it. He could just play the character. What do y'all think about John Bernthal writing this and starring as Punisher? You think he's going to do a good job with this, or y'all gonna have the same sentiments about my spiel on? I like Ryan Reynolds writing Deadpool stuff because that's his type of comedy and stuff.
I think people, especially associated with that Daredevil series from Netflix, they seem to get it. And I'm saying like everybody involved, from the actors to the creators of that series who also were brought back for Born Again. So I think a person like John Bernthal being around that atmosphere, I think he gets the character of Punisher, and I think he'll be able, because I think he co-wrote it with somebody else too. So I think he has the passion for it, and with passion, hopefully it comes out a great project. But I'm excited.
I mean, I don't know anything else that he's actually written or directed, but I'm excited to see where this is going. So I don't think he won't do a bad job, but I think it'll be better than Ryan Reynolds doing Deadpool, in my opinion. Sorry, T.
Blooded.
I mean, I feel like you get to a certain point where somebody playing a character for so long to where they tend to have an idea of where the natural progression of a character should go. Because we've seen it with Hugh Jackman and Wolverine. You've seen it. I think Ryan Reynolds probably is. Well, I think he has a decent idea of it because there's the arc that Deadpool was kind of on was kind of weird in the first two movies as well. Like, I don't really know what his arc was. I think he had I do think with 3 he had a more of a definitive arc of where his character was going to go. I feel like the first two is a lot of like him kind of just doing Deadpool shit, which I guess you could say is kind of accurate. But I do think with the fact that Bernthal's been this character for almost over a decade, maybe close to a decade now, since those Netflix shows came out, I think he has a decent idea of where the arc of the character should go. I'm just kind of curious of how it's going to connect into, or if it's before or after Brand New Day, because we know he's in that for sure. Or if maybe he's just a cameo in Brand New Day. I'm not sure, but I'm curious where this character's going to go. Because I already know this special, because this is going to be a special, like not a show. It's going to be like a one thing, like a one shot, like with Werewolf by Night. And it's going to, if we're taking into account, I think it's only like maybe like an hour or so, maybe 45 minutes, like an hour. And we know the credits are going to be at least like 10 to 15 minutes of that. So we're looking at maybe like a 45-minute snippet of an actual thing going on. So it's not going to be as long as you think it's going to be. So I'm curious as to like what this quick messages he's going to try to have Frank go through in regards to what the next arc is for this character.
Yeah, I honestly, I'm fine with that. I do think that this is having John Bernthal do the writing for this and to kind of see what the direction is. So I think it's good to test the waters with that in case it's something where they do want to go forward with it and do like multiple iterations of it while he's like still in the realm of, hey, I want to keep doing Punisher and I would like to continue being Punisher. That is, I think, great. I think it's good to test the waters on it. The other reason why I'm happy that he is doing this though is because with him having to kind of be within the realm of both Netflix and as well as that Disney, and seeing how, okay, hey, maybe we had liberties here with Netflix that we are seeing we don't have with Disney. Him having that kind of clue is good, specifically for one reason. We're going to see him in Spider-Man. So if we're gonna see this guy in Spider-Man, and we know that Spider-Man can't necessarily display Punisher at the full level that Punisher can be, having somebody who knows how to maneuver those in-betweens between, okay, I know that we can really turn it up with Netflix. If we're doing the TV stuff on Disney, we could turn it up a little bit, but still, I can kind of a lot of things can kind of get worked through at this point that'll have us ready to go with Spider-Man, which with them being like on the hills, not maybe necessarily exactly on the hills with each other, but enough on the hills with each other where production and everything of the sort was likely happening at the same time. I'm cool with it. I just am confused if like I imagine this is going to be like high octane energy, the whole
From start to
to
finish.
yeah, like it's gonna right. It's gonna just be like that quick special. I get that. Even in that though, it's like how does this set the character up that you then see in Spider-Man? Because I mean, I can only imagine it's gonna be more tame. There's gonna be a level of where what we see in this special is not gonna be the same guy that we see in the Spider-Man movie. But how does this special kind of do that? How does it translate?
I think the only thing I need from this is to finally see the Punisher be the Punisher. Because I will say the one thing that I don't like about John Bernthal's portrayal of him, and it's not really a thing on his part, it's the acting, is they make him seem it's too grounded. We talked about this earlier. Like one bullet pushed Buddy down for a minute. He got to spend like 3 episodes or a whole season recovering from a bullet wound. I'm like, bro, I done seen the Punisher in the comics. Like he'd be tanking bullets, eating bullets like it's cereal. Like, so I'm like, okay, can we get a little bit more whimsy and like in comic book versions of the character versus it being so grounded to where he's like getting ate up by one bullet.
Yeah, I know what you mean by that. Because sometimes even when I just have been watching the things that we have gotten already, I'm like, I know he's just a man, but when you read him in the comic book, to your response in that, him jumping back up, it's just fun to see. Like I know it's like it's one of these things where it's like I understand that you probably are trying to keep it grounded just because it's such a complaint that we see over and over and over again from the comic book like community is like you got to be careful with that. But I don't think anybody, if anybody that would have a critique has read like just anything Punisher related on like a Punisher where it's specifically a Punisher focused comic, it's fun. You know, it's just fun to be able to see him get shot, get back up, and then he's going right back at the bad guy, and it's like vengeance. It's almost like that Batman vengeance that's just chasing you down. It would be nice. If I feel like if we had any chance of seeing that, this would be it. Maybe we do.
And let's keep it a buck. Fans don't know what they want. Let's be honest.
They don't. We talk about this so much.
If fans got what they wanted, we wouldn't have Hugh Jackman as Wolverine.
Yeah.
Right.
we wouldn't have the Dark Knight. We wouldn't have Heath Ledger Joker. Like a lot of the better roles, we for sure wouldn't have RDJ as Iron Man for sure. So I'm like, fans don't know what they want till they got it. So experiment, do your thing, have fun with it, and then if you turn out something bad, you turn out something bad. But we as fans need to have more patience and let our experience of what something is be when we go see it in a theater or when they put it on or something, not just try to grade on how good something's going to be based off of the trailer 100% or like who casting. I don't know. People get too far into that stuff. I feel like.
Yeah. You gotta experience it. Like just experience it and understand that there's, they might not get it right the first time. They human just like you are, and they trying to figure out this fantastic like now world. I mean, it was one thing when it was just like one individual film, and it's like okay, they testing the waters, and now it's like yo, we trying to build a universe. We might not get everything right. Like there may be times where we got to kind of piece it together and figure it out. And you in that will find what you love. Going back to the Guardians point, nobody would have.
I'm not going to let y'all sit here and act like we ain't got 100 episodes of us bitching and complaining.
Oh, we are a part of the problem.
We're going to be based off the trailer. Y'all sit up here agreeing. I'm like, bro, we got 100 episodes and we shitting on trailers about movies, and we like this shit ain't gonna be good at all.
But here's the thing: we said that we've been a part of the problem too. Like we've had instances where we've admitted that each and every single one of us has had points where we've been like, I might have judged that wrong. Remember how I was with Superman before it came out? I was like, I'm not excited for it. This is a terrible idea. And then I ended up saying, if I'm wrong, I'll come back on the podcast and walk back my statements. We also do play a part in that. I think that's something just throughout these 100 episodes, we kind of figured out and pieced together too, is that we be complaining. We got some issues.
I could be a hypocrite sometimes too. Because I ain't gonna like I went into school when the fucking Batman v Superman trailer dropped. And I was like, oh, this is going to be ass. And it was some ass. It was sometimes that does happen. Sometimes the trailer will tell you the whole story because they give you too much in the trailer.
Yeah. My whole thing is, Crackles, I love that for you. The fact that you came back and said that I was wrong and Superman was good. But me and D on the whole other side of the spectrum on that one.
Y'all was like, no.
I had my gripes about it. Like I said, this will be a whole nother hour and a half of pie of us arguing, going back and forth on my thoughts about this daggone movie scene with Nino. But I'm just saying, that movie's a 6 out of 10 to me, but it is what it is.
Oof. All right. Let's segue over to the question of the day. Brought to you by Nino. Appreciate you. I don't know if you got the question up. If you want to ask it, or I can.
It's
I
gonna
have
be
it
on
up,
the screen.
but I didn't know if. Okay.
Let's see.
Oh, you got the. I forgot.
If it'll let me. There we go. I think I gotta get out of full screen. There we go. Nope, not that one. Not that one. Do I not have it on here?
Damn.
Just giving away everything.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Close my eyes.
Hold on, I might be able. Let me
I was
stop.
playing. Let me know when I'm
sharing
gonna open my eyes again.
this. All right, hold on.
Just go ahead and ask the question.
Yeah, you could just. Oh yeah, you could just ask it because I forgot. That's what we were supposed to do anyways. I gotta set a timer though, right?
Do you want to?
I don't even know how to set the timer on here. I'm gonna end
We'll just,
I got it
Not the
internally. I got it
Here's the
internally.
thing.
I'm
We
just
just
looking at it.
won't go crazy. Just Rob, just keep track
You
of it.
sure?
Just say if we're 2 minutes each. If we reach in a minute and a half, just knock on your desk or something, or clap, whatever.
All right.
Just to give a signal. But Nino, what's the question?
The question of the day was, what anime do you wish you could watch for the first time again, even without reading the manga?
Ooh. Ooh. Damn. You know, I think I would love to watch Ranking of Kings for the first time again. I ain't gonna hold you.
Okay.
Because there ain't too many anime that be like really hitting my emotions like that. And that anime almost got a full tear out of me, like a full crocodile tear. My boy Boji was going through it. I wouldn't mind going through that again. Outside of that, obviously, I think the big answers are like Naruto, whatever it may be. Like, because I love living vicariously through my friends who haven't seen those anime for the first time and get to like the tuning exams and they fall in love with Rock Lee, and I'm like, hey, bro, have fun. Cause you ain't gonna get no shit to the rest of the show.
Don't get me started on Rock Lee. It hurts my soul every time because that's my guy right there. But every time
I fall in love with him.
Yo, as soon as I say, "Oh, Rock Lee's my favorite," oh, you like a loser. Come on, son. Leave Rock Lee alone, son.
You ain't around too much.
I got mine. And I gotta do it right with this one.
Oh Lord.
You? Don't get clapped now. You on YouTube, brother.
Oh, dude. Oh,
Right.
Your favorite series ever is the one.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I ain't mad
I
at
don't
you.
mind
Stay
either.
committed.
I'm still trying to finish that right now as we speak.
The Dark Tournament is the
I'm at
best
the end.
tournament of all
I'm
time,
at the end of
son.
the Dark Tournament.
Oh my goodness.
I'm at the final fight.
I can admit, as a Yu Yu Hakusho fan, the end is terrible. I can understand it. It's fine. I don't care. But 99% of this series is heat.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is like my ultimate answer, but it's just come up recently, and like this thought, like this question, actually, like really, it became a legit thought before we even posed it. I think Full Metal Alchemist is really doing that for me right now.
Ooh.
But the simple reason why is they got this new one. Like the author has this new series out called Daemons of something. I can't remember the full name of it.
Yeah.
And the way that everything is done with Full Metal Alchemist, and now I'm starting to see it in this Daemon series, that it's like the appreciation. That's what I would love to be able to relive again.
Do we have a Chimera in that one?
It like no, it's a little different, but it's just some of the art styles that's being done here is things where I'm like, man, I haven't seen that since Full Metal Alchemist, and I like really appreciate it. Like it's this aura effect that's kind of around the main characters, Daemons, and that it's stuff like that. Like even just the way that like a creature or a monster or whatever the case may be, the way that it's drawn, it kind of sticks out for me as being of that mangaka's style. Like I can identify it as their style. So it's like instant in that I think Full Metal Alchemist is probably the one I would love to be able to know nothing about and going blind.
You know what? I'll double down with you on that one just so I can say again for the 15th time. Shao Tucker was wrong. And I stand on that.
Yeah. Hajime no Ippo is probably my choice. I think
Hajime never finding an ending anime.
Yeah.
Aren't you a One Piece fan?
No.
Me?
When I
no,
say that,
Terrence.
Oh,
no, I am a One Piece fan. But what I'm
yeah.
saying is Hajime no Ippo, the manga's still going, but they never kept the anime going. It literally just halted and stopped.
yeah.
There was no ending. There was really no ending.
I think you put me onto that actually.
Yeah, I
think
did. It was
during
fire.
the time when
Yo, Sendo, like when he fought Sendo, Takamura's fight when he literally had to sit there and only eat tomatoes just to make weight and sit there in the sauna. Like you saw what that man went through. That's another anime I'll probably watch again for the first time. Oh my goodness.
that joint's a good one. What about you, Nina?
Mine gonna be Attack on Titan. I'm not like the biggest anime watcher out the group. Sorry to disappoint, but I kind of spoiled Attack on Titan. Like after season 2, I'm like, let me go ahead and read the manga and read ahead. And I was like, damn, the ending trash. Like I wish I could have just like watched it along as it progressed. But those first 2-3 seasons, I was like, damn, this shit is kind of heat. I know y'all tried to put me on back in high school, and I was like, I'm not watching this shit, bro. Like, it's a wrap. Then I came down here, everybody's like, nah, bro, you should really watch it, this and this. And then after episode 1, I was hooked. But I was like, damn, I kind of want that feeling back from a show again.
All
I
right.
ain't
I
mad
ain't
at that.
mad at it. Yeah.
That opening, them first couple episodes was some gas. I ain't gonna hold you. It started off really good.
Heat, bro. It was like, whoa.
Bruh, crazy.
Had a lot of folks hooked. All right, so I figure for the first main topic, since we're kind of running on schedule for the most part, I think we're gonna scrap the Daredevil. If we have time, we could talk about that later. But I think we're just gonna go straight into that X-Men game that we got. So just to give y'all some context why we chose to do this game, Marvel supposedly, I think Jeff Snyder, if I'm not mistaken, a reliable, I guess you say, leaker person who talks about Marvel and everything from behind the scenes, said that they're going with a traditional Chris Claremont X-Men team. I think that involves Beast, Angel, Iceman, Jean Grey, and Cyclops, if I'm not mistaken, off the top of my head. And me and Niall figured, hey, since we got that, we might as well make a game out of it. So since they going that route, what would be your X-Men team that you would want to start off with for this new X-Men saga mutant saga that they're pushing towards? So we got some characters on the screen, and you got the rules right there. Create your own X-Men team for the MCU and prove why they work. Choose a minimum of 5 characters and a maximum of 8. Note, this is based on characteristics of speculated MCU X-Men traits, which we are assuming that they will be younger and more inexperienced than the mutants that we've been accustomed to seeing in the past.
Okay.
All right. So we got these Jones. I should have told everybody to get a paper and pen, but we on the PC, so I'd assume niggas would be able to write it down. But
I got
yeah.
a note open.
I got a note tab. Let me get my bag. Where it go?
And just to name all of the characters, because I know it's probably gonna be hard to notice some of them. Going from left to right: Wolverine, Cyclops, Jean Grey, Rogue, Storm, Beast, Emma Frost, Colossus, Nightcrawler, Magic, Kitty Pryde, Bishop, Iceman, Gambit, Jubilee, Angel, Havoc, Sunspot, Domino, Mimic, goddamn, Forge, Thunderbird, Psylocke, Morph, Quentin Quire, Darwin, Boom Boom, and Cecilia Reyes. Y'all got that, bear with me. I can put the list right in here.
No, I got you.
Bet.
Trying to get this team together. You said minimum 5, maximum 8.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mm,
Could we add a bonus of who we want to see, like the actor for that could play this person?
That was
For
actually
either
gonna be
the
one of the
characters?
questions. I ain't gonna lie. After
Like
this, if
like
we
pick
have
one
some
of the
time,
characters. Who would you want? Who'd you want to like act that person?
we can. Because I was gonna ask, yeah, who would be your dream X-Men actor that you would want to play your favorite character type of thing?
Suggestion, just so that we don't go crazy over time. We pick
Yeah.
one person.
Yeah, that's what the question is gonna
Okay.
be. Just one person. But we could do that after the game, or we can try and put it in our responses too. It don't really matter to me. I feel like that'd be asking a lot. You already gotta make a team. Now you gotta see who your dream casting gonna be too. Damn. Damn.
all right, I got mine figured out. I didn't think about this for a second.
Shit.
Yeah, I got mine.
All right, I got mine. So who wants to start off that has theirs already while everybody's still going?
I can get off. So, off top, I already know mine is going to be the most unrealistic because I for sure don't have Jean Grey or Cyclops on my list at all. I don't want to jump into doing the whole Wolverine, Cyclops, and Jean love triangle thing. I don't want to deal with the Dark Phoenix saga again. I don't want to deal with Forge and the Sinister shit again. We're seeing that already in the animated stuff. We've seen it in the movies a million times over. I'm cool on seeing that. So off top, they're out. They're out. I don't even want to see Logan for a long time. Maybe Logan coming in later on, but right now, off the first initial team, no thank you. My team is going to be composed of Nightcrawler, Jubilee, Storm, Magic and Colossus. You know, keep the siblings together. Forge, Bishop, and Beast. So, off top, I wanted to make sure that I had enough characters in to deal with the narrative of mutants that are not human passing. Because I do think that is a narrative that we only get in small tidbits here and there with characters like Beast or Nightcrawler. So having them included in that, I think would be really dope. Then as far as the leadership aspect goes, I thought it'd be great to have a Storm, because I think Storm is the kind of the de facto leader in this whole thing. But I can also see her bumping heads like she does in the comics, a lot of characters like Forge and Bishop. Just based off the fact that, well, more so Bishop than Forge. Bishop is another one of those characters who seems very much so prideful and wants to be a leader in that format. So having them kind of bump heads in a Leonardo, Raphael type of situation, I think would really fit there. And I also wanted to have the younger, like the vehicle of a young character to explore the world in regards to a younger mutant who is going to be human passing, but so she's going to be accepted by a lot of different people, but she's going to be kind of deal with the conflict of having to be out in the world and still wanting to be a human, but also wanting to still rock with the mutant family. So Jubilee is what that's for. I think Jubilee is probably the perfect character for this, if not her. Then obviously, well, funny enough, yeah, just her. I think she's the perfect one to use it with, just because of the fact she's going to be like the younger teen idol kind of situation where she's going to want to be in a regular high school, but still want to be a part of the team. Kind of similar to X-Men Evolution stuff that you saw with Kitty Pryde, and I think we saw it a little bit with Rogue. And then obviously Magic and Colossus are going to be my wild cards. They're going to be the ones that are going to be in a lot of the darker storylines because obviously Limbo and dealing with something like Mephisto and them being fucking Russian and having to deal with a lot of that stuff that goes along with that. And then obviously you have the intelligence people of the group. You have the Forge and Beast being the smarty pants people. I think with this group you cover a lot of the things that you would need from a team, as well as a lot of the abilities in regards to what you need from like the powerhouses to the intelligence people to the tacticians, the brawlers. And then storyline wise, you have so many different storylines you can touch on that just aren't a super norm, I feel like. Or I know the mutant not blending in things is a norm, but I think that's a staple that you always have to have in an X-Men story, is that idea that you're not one of the human beings, even if you look like them on the outside.
Yeah, I love that breakdown. I love that. I honestly, you made me take. I went into my topic. I'll do mine next, and I'll
Okay.
do because I'm a talker. I'm gonna actually move this over to here, so that way it actually
I need a
stops me with
timer
a
my own
timer.
self.
I do. I need a timer for me. I'll preface though that originally I did have Jean and Cyclops on my list, but like the thought that you said was what I had in my head as to why I don't want it. And then I was like, no, I think I want to change that up because of another dynamic on my team. So I'll begin now. My team, for me, I have Magic, Colossus, Emma Frost, Bishop, Kitty Pryde, Forge, and Cyclops. So
Okay.
the reason why what I said is because I had originally had Jean Grey and Cyclops on there, and I said no. I think what I would want to do if we could have a start, and these are younger characters, is I would like to explore the brother sister relationship with Colossus and Magic versus the Cyclops Jean Grey relationship because we've seen it so many times before. Emma Frost, the reason why I have her on there is because I feel like Emma Frost is she could be such an amazing tie-in, especially somebody if you started really young with her, but because we kind of know that she moves into a background where she networks a lot and she works with a bunch of different, not only mutants, but non-mutants. She set up galas. She's introduced us to different versions of herself in ways that introduce more characters. I think that Emma Frost is just somebody who is kind of like a Swiss Army knife, and if you need a character that's kind of like could possibly be a traitor, you could have her operate in even that way as well. She could even be a connection for us for Magneto and something down the line. Bishop, I love the leadership points. I kind of had similar points on that where I think that Bishop is I just think that the story with Bishop, if it's something where they were to be able to keep it somewhat comic book accurate, and the displacement and just the things that he's experienced, he could create not only like a little bit more of that serious, more grounded tone that we have a lot of interest in, but also could be somebody who can challenge Cyclops as a leader in ways that can maybe even strengthen the leadership of Cyclops. So I thought they could probably bounce off of each other very well. Kitty Pryde, adding a little bit more of the youth back into it. That's why I wanted Kitty Pryde in there. And then Forge, the reason why I wanted Forge is because I like the element where the intellect and the intellectual character can kind of be bridges, or could be like that surprising, like just character that can save the day. Like they just have the possibility of that because of the knowledge that they can bring. So that's why that was my list. Look, 18 seconds. I did pretty good. I couldn't do that without a timer. I'm telling you, they know this is way better. I can't do that without a timer.
It would have been 10 minutes later.
I'll go next.
All right. Do you want a timer?
Go off.
Okay. Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. So for my list, I have Cyclops, Storm, Jean, Kitty Pryde, Nightcrawler, and Morph. The reason I'm led to this team, Robert and I talked about this in our chat, like having the X-Men be like a covert ops type of team. And I use them because it's like, these are people that can get in and out. I can use Storm for cover. I got Cyclops as like a tactician. Jean is not confirmed if Sadie Sink is Jean, I don't think. But what we've seen in that Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer just had me thinking like, if she could mind hop through different people, it's like you don't even have to enter a certain space in order to get like information, in order to control somebody, things of that nature. And I have Kitty Pryde like for the same reason that I chose Nightcrawler. Like if you want somebody to get in without being seen or that needs to, make a quick exit, these are my people. And I don't really have like a muscle on the team, but I chose Morph because I know while he doesn't copy the actual powers of some of the X-Men or heroes, he can mimic the powers, not to the same extent, but it's just, this is a smaller team that's comprised of people that, have to use their abilities in a different way. And that's why I have Storm here as well. Like when I mentioned having her as like a cover, it's like, they're not just gonna be out there, in broad daylight. It could be, her providing some type of protection for the team, do their mission, get in and out without having to be seen. But I mean, I just kept it short, but I liked all y'all's teams too, but I just kind of don't want the original, with Beast, Angel, Cyclops. I mean, I know that's just fan of me talking, but that just don't really excite me. And I'm thinking of this. I guess this is for the MCU, so it's gonna be like, you know, post Secret Wars. So it's like, how are the X-Men gonna be here without causing a scene? Like, to Diesel's point, we do have mutants that don't have a human appearance, So it's like maybe the mutants are trying to cover that. Like, hey, we can't just be out here with blue skin being seen. So we gotta make a dash for this. Do this mission. Let's get up out of there and not cause any commotion because we don't know what the perception is gonna be of the public.
I like that, especially for what you're trying to do. I like that team. I like that setup.
Thank you.
Yeah, I do too. And the other part to that is if they do end up going this younger route, there's this question of, is this cast that they use as the original X-Men supposed to be what we know to be the established X-Men once the saga kind of really launches off? Or is it something where they're like more rogue at this point? Because there's a lot of instances where they may be chased that we may see with if Sadie Sink is Jean Grey, where we'll see that happen. And if they're in a chase kind of scenario, the team that you put together, I really like, because especially getting out of places is going to be a key detail for them.
Yeah, real quick, to Diesel's point, I really do not want Wolverine in this, because having Wolverine going after like a young Jean Grey, I feel like Wolverine should just be like a mentor, somebody that's passing down wisdom to the mutants on like, how to control their powers, how to operate in the world, because I think that little love triangle shit is played out, especially in these movies.
I've always seen Wolverine as like him, probably Emma to an extent. I've always seen him as like the older mentors that come from like the evil world. Like they've seen a lot more in the world, so they can kind of give them knowledge.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that. I like that idea. Plus, if we keep it in a buck, the X-Men as a whole didn't really pop off till like 15 years in, when you started to get more of the Storms, the Bishops, like to the Claremont era. Because they came out and they really wasn't hitting on too much for at least 15 years while Stan Lee was in charge of them until he gave it up.
Yeah, we was just talking about that in the chat too. I guess if they slow walk it like that, this is what I was saying to Sage when we were building this, is like, I'm not mad at it. I just know that the peak of my interest may not come until like the second movie.
Okay.
Completely
All right.
understandable.
I'll go ahead and get my team and let Sage go last. I went with Forge, because since he can literally make anything out of nothing, like it will come in handy for like the tech wise of like any mission that they might have. Storm, Bishop, Domino. I really like Domino. Like her luck keeps her out of trouble. Morph, to be able to sort of like what's shorty name, Mystique. But just to go back on Morph, can Morph use their powers, if I'm correct, or he just morphs as them?
To a limited extent, yeah, he can.
Okay, so then just to like back another person up if need be, or he can use his powers to help Forge out. Like if he can use some of Forge's ability to like maybe if he needs to make a bigger weapon, machine, or whatever they may need to get through the mission. Cyclops, because I need the Cyclops moonwalk with the beam. I need that from X-Men '97. I don't care if he's fighting. I need that. I need that. That's on fire. That's on fire. When he goes, I need that. I need that. And then Colossus and Nightcrawler, because for one, Nightcrawler does not get really a big lift in like most of these movies. He's sort of like the support cast. And Colossus, you just gotta have a tank on your team.
We were talking about casting too. The only one I have dead sure where I need this casting is I need David Johnson to be playing Nightcrawler. I need David Johnson as Nightcrawler. The guy from Alien Romulus, and he was in The Long Walk earlier doing his past year.
Okay,
Yeah, he would be an amazing Nightcrawler.
I like that.
Y'all gonna look at me crazy, but I need Zazie Beetz to play Domino again.
Yeah.
Stop.
Apparently, she's not against coming back for it. I'm not against that.
Thank you.
That would be cool.
Thank
After
you.
watching her and They Will Kill You, I think she'd kill that shit. I ain't gonna hold you.
Just
She
change
got a
up
good
how
script
they.
to work with.
Yeah, just change how she was like in Deadpool. Like she would be a perfect Domino. Keep her going.
She's a great. I think she's a great actor. I think it's a situation where she just had a bad script because that Deadpool movie was not narrative wise. It's not it.
No,
It was all over the place.
yeah.
Uh,
It's Deadpool. So
T, what I like about your team is I feel like it's really explosive. Like, it almost reminds me, like, knowing how much you love Deadpool, it almost reminds me of like a cast that I could end up seeing in like a X-Force even too. Like, it's something with Deadpool. You might hate me for this, but it kind of does even give a little bit of like a Guns team vibe to me, where I could see there being more humor that could be with that. I know you hate it. I'm sorry, but I could see where this team could lead to more humorous moments. I could see where, like, I really feel like that team is one where it can grab people's attentions given the different things with these characters.
the funny thing is though, when I was picking this team, I did not think having Domino and Colossus, I was not thinking of like Deadpool when I picked them. And
No, I
now that
believe
I'm
you.
looking, I'm like,
Wow,
really?
yeah, I have. No, but I like it though. I do.
Alrighty then.
There's one more.
Got my team. Just let me know when you're ready.
I am. Oh, hold on.
Put
Let's
his
go
timer for a minute and a half. He likes to talk too much.
That's crazy.
We'll go like. Where'd my timer go? All
There
right,
you
hold
go.
on. Let me
Restart the
see.
jump? Yeah, possibly.
Remember what I was telling you? I was like, I don't know when it's gonna stop.
Yeah,
What if that was like it? It was like, yep, nah, that's your time.
we at 8:14. Let me speed run this joint. All right. So I got.
I'll do one
Got
on
you.
my phone. I'll tell
I
you.
got Jean Grey and Cyclops. Now I know niggas is probably gonna have me up on the stake or something like that, but I think X-Men '97 showed us when they have good stories behind these characters, then all that other shit that they poo-pooed on in the X-Men trilogy, if I'm not mistaken, that came prior, it washes away just a little bit. You're able to watch this, you're able to see their interactions and actually enjoy it, or it's actually captivating, or it's actually emotional. It actually ties you in, type of thing. So I got them and their focal members of the X-Men throughout the years. I have Rogue because of her ability to be able to step out into other projects and to also facilitate some things. So like when Rogue was introduced, I believe she was a villain, and she ended up getting Captain Marvel's abilities by absorbing her abilities at some point in time. I think that that would be a dope concept to do, to one, uplift Captain Marvel, bring her up to date in the story and everything like that, while also having a dope ass lady being the muscle of the group. I got Beast as well because you just need a smart person on the team to be able to build suits, be able to build technology, so on and so forth. Storm as well because we got to have some black representation and black lady representation. We love to see that, and she's going to be the most, arguably the most powerful mutant on the team. I got Bishop as well just because I like his design. Iceman, and then I got a toss up between Magic and Psylocke. Now, I didn't know which one to choose, but I think because I don't believe we have seen a live action iteration of Psylocke, and I think that.
We have.
Oh, we have.
Yeah,
Was that in the New Mutants?
Apocalypse.
Oh, the
Yeah,
yeah,
New
but
Mutants had magic.
I feel like I try to. I
I
try to forget that movie, man. Yeah, that shit was just. Oh man, it's only so much Michael Fassbender and James McAvoy could do, you know. So,
You're not wrong.
I think that if they give that character love and attention, I think that she would be able to go crazy in this setup. Same thing I feel about Magic as well. I think if they gave that character love and attention, it'd be a lot easier to segue into different movies that cover the supernatural, like you were saying earlier, Captain Diesel. It's just more avenues for Marvel to be able to make more money in that process and a better have a connectable universe overall.
I need the Midnight Suns. I need it now. Damn it! I need that shit now.
Immediately. And then my fan casting for a person would be Chase Infinity, the daughter in One Battle After Another, for Rogue. I think she would do, but I know it's a lot of people out here that would be pissed.
That
Y'all
would not be
race
my
swapping
Rogue.
everything.
That's not my Rogue.
You know,
I think she would be code for that role.
I see you.
I might need
But my
to see
only
more of her
issue-
acting chops.
I need to see a little. I need a beefier woman to play Rogue. I ain't gonna hold you though.
I feel you.
We done seen the skinny Rogue. I'm like, she ain't got to be like. I don't even say she got to be like thick. I need a beefier. Like, if she gonna be punching niggas out, I need a beefier woman to play Rogue.
Yeah.
In my mind, at least. I don't even care about ethnic background. Be damned. You gotta be Amazon. You gotta be beefier.
Meg Thee Stallion as Rogue.
Shit. I ain't mad at that. Shit, I ain't mad at it. Yeah, it's amazing. I'll be visually entertained. It's gonna be a bunch of action.
Oh, that part, the character part, is the part that kind of I have a hard time with. I don't know.
Oh, I ain't even tell mine. For me, Storm would have to be Jodie Turner-Smith.
Yeah, I
Of
love
course.
that. I love that
Of
so
course.
much.
Of course.
You know, I'm getting to the point though where I want somebody to be, because I'm so tired of the infighting in the black community about who's playing her. I want to be somebody that nobody's ever seen.
Nobody's
Call it, get it in between. Get somebody up and coming that's only been in like on some Chase Infinity shit with One Battle After Another. Get somebody that's only been in like one movie that was like a smaller film. Get somebody that coming off of Broadway, maybe theater. Like make it somebody all, because Storm is so many different things in the comics and then so many different things and so many different people. You're not going to find the one actor that's going to be able to encapsulate everything people want from her. Because if she's too masculine presenting, niggas gonna say, "Oh, you chose somebody wrong because she should be fine and fit." But I'm like, okay, you're not worried about the acting. All right, cool. You want somebody that's just thick. That's your whole thing. You want a thick Rogue. You want a thick Storm. Because again, in the perfect world, we already know if we could time travel back, it's Angela Bassett. I think if we can go back, she's the best in everybody's world.
Oh yeah.
But
Hands down.
85-year-old Angela Bassett ain't gonna cut it at this point.
I just don't want Storm to be light-skinned this time.
Jamie
That's
Lawson.
yeah. I wouldn't be mad at Jamie Lawson, but I don't know, bro. I say go get, especially if they're gonna be younger, because that's another like caveat here. We already know they're gonna be young. Grab somebody that has not been, because at that point, her being thick is out of the equation. She's supposed to be a young kid. If you still sexualizing her as a kid, you're weird, nigga.
Random question though. Would it behoove Marvel to have some of these characters, like let's say they do this first initial 5, and then they introduce characters like Rogue as a villain, like how she was introduced in the comics, or Storm as she's doing some other things in Africa, where her backstory lies, and then they eventually get introduced to her. What if they have some characters that are just older and like more of the mentor, and Storm is just kind of that? Because I'm pretty sure like that's basically her main role for a lot of her tenure in the X-Men, was being a mentor.
Oh, Storm.
Yeah.
I mean,
think-
depending on the version, yeah.
But what if we get Storm in the new Black Panther movie if they're going intergalactic?
That's what I was thinking as well. Like that'd be an interesting, just like how I say like a Captain Marvel, if they end up going back to it, would be a perfect way to introduce Rogue if they don't introduce her in this next X-Men film.
Yeah, I think Rogue, Emma, and Storm are probably the 3 like DLC characters that they add in through leeway of other movies. Like I'd probably bring in Rogue in like the next Ms. Marvel movie. Probably, I'd bring Emma Frost in. You probably bring her into an actual X-Men movie, but then Storm probably through the next Black Panther film as well.
And
Especially, honestly, if you want to age up his son a little bit, you could pair his son up with her. If you don't want to. I know some people are worried about the recasting T'Challa whole situation, but in my mind, you have the son that the son's going to take the mantle at some point soon, and he's T'Challa Jr. That could be a perfect segue, especially if we know that Storm's going to be younger. Let's pair them up together and kind of age, just do a little time skip ahead where he's a little bit older.
Perfect. They'll be able to knock out a lot of birds with a lot of stones, and then a lot of things that a lot of issues people were having was just the connectivity of these last couple of phases that Marvel's been dropping. So it fixes their issue immediately for a lot of the projects. All right, we could do a quick vote on who y'all thought was y'all most favorite team out of everybody's.
It's tough because I feel like I'm not gonna lie, like I like all the teams for different reasons.
Yeah.
So it's really hard for me to say, like Rob, for yours, you know, the idea of Jean Grey, Cyclops, Rogue, Beast, I feel like that right there kind of gives a lot of the story. And I mean, Storm, it doesn't even stop there. Storm's for sure. Those characters right there give you could get a full story about the X-Men. Like you could go in a bunch of different directions and really give a strong, compelling story with the X-Men and ground who the X-Men are with just even those characters alone. You could do it with all of them, but like I love that you kept the core for that reason. For Diesel's, I love that he also had the Magic and Colossus like I did for my list. But I do just think that, especially like if we giving speaking roles to a lot of these different characters that he picked, we talking about something that are really opinionated. We're talking about like when I look at Nightcrawler, we got like I don't know how they would do it, but it's so integral to his religion and how he feels about faith and his like moral compass is something that's so intertwined with his character that I think about things like that. I think about the idea of like Storm. If she's coming into her, if this is something where she's younger and she's coming into who she is, those dialogues going back to like her past, and then as well as that, like the journey that she's had going forward, and also kind of again tying that in with that wisdom role with her. I see a lot of like talking points with this cast. Beast, Forge, the idea of those two with the level of intellect that they have, that would be a very like I would love to see the story for that. With T's list as a contrast, I would love to see the action from that. D, with your list is very similar with Rob's, where it's like it's really got some people that's just integral to the X-Men. When you think of the X-Men, I mean Cyclops, Storm, Jean, Kitty Pryde, that alone right there really gets you into who, you know, like what they are, the family side of them, that dynamic. So I think that it's very similar to the points that I made with Rob. But all of these are iterations of the team that I wouldn't be mad at seeing.
I think Nino is probably the one we're going to get closer to seeing, just because one, narrative-wise, it makes sense for them to be a covert team initially, for them not to be seen. Two, you got the classic again. We already know the audience is going to be predominantly white men, and they're not going to take not having Gene and Cyclops on the team. So we got to have Gene and Cyclops. They got to be there. They got to appease the mass audience. And then I think the auxiliary characters in somebody like a Nightcrawler in a match. To your point with the whole Catholicism with him, and then also having Magic be there, being somebody that's really based in limbo or perceived hell. I think those two would have a really interesting dynamic going back and forth with each other, especially them both being teleporters essentially in different ways. There's a lot you can do there. I think his team is probably the closest to what we'll see, more than likely.
And then if there's any tie-in with, like we've seen Mephisto, the tie-in ability with the Magic side too, where it's like, you know, they could, because it's different. It's the MCU is always a little bit different. It's not, even if they are going with something that's a theme from the comic, they could at any point kind of spin it. And Mephisto could be in limbo, like this is one of my realms too, and then they could be like, psych, this was somebody else's realm later down the line.
Well, if I remember right, Limbo isn't Mephisto's realm. It's oh my God, I'm forgetting the name of the demon that oversees it, but it's another Hell Lord that works with Mephisto. They're like in the Hell Lord circle, so it'd be like a tangential thing to where they'd be. But again, to your point, the only Hell Lord we really seen is Mephisto up until this point, so they could just change that to make that be the case.
Yeah, so I do agree. I do think that D's team probably for MCU purposes. Yeah,
I can see that. I can agree with that as well. All right, just to wrap this up too, I do want to update y'all. There has been some rumors, since we're on the X-Men topic, has been some rumors of some actors. Obviously, we got the Sadie Seeker's Jean Grey. Supposedly, Odessa Ozion is going to be playing Rogue, and Peter Claffey is going to be playing Beast. Supposedly, allegedly.
Odessa, I kind of like that.
Odessa.
I'm cool with Odessa. She showed her ass in Marty Supreme.
Yes, she did.
I'd just be worried about the age thing, because if we're gonna go with, I mean, because they say younger, I don't know if they mean like young, like early 20s, or if they mean like teens. Because they mean early 20s.
It gotta be early 20s.
It gotta be. That's what I'm thinking. She's
especially with
right
Young
now.
Avengers being a thing that they still at some point are gonna be working on. It feel like rivals at that point, and that would be unnecessary.
I'm cool with that then. If we go with that Asian demographic, I think she killed that role. At that point, to your point with Rogue, what I said before, I'd be worried about her being a little skinny. You know what I'm just saying? But that's just with the if she about to be punching niggas out. But again, we've seen that happen in the MCU before, I guess.
Yeah. Peter Claffey is 29, so it seems like they're trying to do that early 20s range.
Who was that other person, Rob?
Odessa Ozion and Peter Claffey as Beast. He's recently been in A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, Small Things Like These, Bad Sisters, Wreck, Vikings Valhalla, and some other things that I have never heard of before.
Now the Odessa news, I'm not sure how accurate that is. I only ever saw that news after Marty Supreme came out, and I felt it's a little late in the game to kind of like try to cast her. If that wasn't already a conversation, I feel like we would have heard something about that before then.
Yeah, for whatever reason, I think it just dropped recently. Like a lot of people was talking about it. So Jeff Snyder, the guy that I brought up earlier, I think he also brought that up as well. I don't necessarily know. Again, it's just a rumor. We don't know until that movie actually is announced officially. But other than that, Captain Diesel, can you let everybody know where we could tap into anything that you got going on? You could plug whatever you'd like.
Yeah, I guess first and foremost, we the YouTube channel, Captain Diesel's Dojo. We are right around the corner from 10K, so I'd appreciate the help to get there. Moving into, I guess, more comic news there, and y'all probably hear it here first, but myself, Blur Without Fear, Dr. K.O.R. Knights, Wednesday Pool, BJ Kicks, a lot of other Black comic book creators, we are working on creating this, we'll say, congregation or group called the Black Comics Alliance or Association, where we're going to be looking into really pushing for things in the industry. So there's gonna be a lot of collective of us really trying to push things forward. So you'll hear a lot more news about that as time goes on. I think the social accounts for each thing for the org is like created now. But you'll start to see a little bit more news as things flow in regards to streams we may do or interviews we may do with some of the more bigger writers, whatever, maybe people in the industry to try to get things going on and the journalism we're going to do as far as that goes. And then obviously the last thing would be Echelon Graphic Novels, the publishing company that I co-own now. We are going to have a Kickstarter go up relatively soon for a trade we're going to do. To try to introduce people that are not aware of who we are or what kind of stories we produce. We're going to have a trade paperback come out at some point soon. It's going to have the first issues of all of our flagship stories, as well as a issue or a story from one of our interns. Or she did a webtoon, so we'll have a webtoon in that book as well, like near the end. So you'll get to see the issue ones of all of our bigger stories and what we have to offer there. And so if you're interested in more what we have to offer as far as that goes, you'll be able to finish out reading more of stuff like Slade and Ash, Buddy Cop Zombie story we have in there. Reaper issue 2 will be on the horizon. Briarlands, another like X-Men adjacent story that we have that'll be coming. I think the second issue's already done, so they're gonna be rolling that out, and then there's more to come with that. So most of the stories we're gonna be putting in this book to either have a second issue out or the story's already done in its entirety outside of the webtoon that our intern did. So that'll be something like right around the corner. But besides that, those are all the things I can think of as of now. Oh, besides the Players Alliance, but I'm sure T will probably say something about that in a little bit here. But that's all I got.
Yep. Beautiful. And like you said, with the Players Alliance, for those who may not have heard about the Players Alliance, we are a collective group of individuals trying to unionize gamers to fight against the predatory monetization ways of these companies and how they are trying to move to.
Dad, can you play the basketball?
We'll play basketball later.
Said Player Alliance can wait for this basketball.
You can, and what I tell you, put your glasses down. You don't need to wear them like sunglasses. All right, can you go back to the front for me, please? Thank you. Mrs. Hims she's at the school. You got school tomorrow. Go.
Where my teacher at if you ain't gonna put this 20 down?
Right.
But yeah, for those Players Alliance, you can get the information for the Discord. Well, start to have it more on our YouTube, or you'll be able to see it under my Instagram. We have one of our general meetings coming up this week after our we have a stream with
Maxwell Frost
and
Lil Simsies.
Thank you, Diesel. In Sage with Lil Simsies and Maxwell Frost. They'll be playing Stardew Valley and talking about the EA Sports deal that's going down, and everything around that. And then we have our big meeting that evening. Look forward to, if anybody joins in, to seeing you. I think that is all. And for those who are playing Pokemon Champions, come catch their hands.
All right, so if you haven't peeped the Echelon Graphic Novels website URL, especially for Captain Diesel's Reaper issue #1, should be in the comments in the live section. I'll make sure that I add that link to the YouTube video down below, as
Put
well
it in
as
the
a
cart,
link
Sage.
for.
Buy it now.
Yes, I was about to.
Yes,
Also add one for Players Alliance as well, just in case if anybody out there is more curious, wants to have more information. I'm guessing it'll probably be a lot easier to get in contact with somebody, or you can get in contact with T Smooth or somebody else. Nonetheless, we appreciate y'all. Episode 101 is in the books. I'm about to get back to probably rewatching this Daredevil and finally watching these The Boys episodes. So, gentlemen, I greatly appreciate y'all for joining us. Please make sure that you like, comment, and subscribing if you're coming from the YouTube, and the equivalent across all the platforms that you might be tuning in to us. All right, we should be back here around the same time next week. Y'all have a good rest of y'all week. Peace.
Peace out.
That was a very time efficient pod, boys.
1:30. Goddamn.
Yeah.
Appreciate y'all.
We appreciate you. Thank you. Well, I'm certainly looking forward to
At the